Is that recording properly?
America will never be destroyed from the outside. If we falter and lose our freedoms, it will be because we destroyed ourselves. And that was a quote from Abraham Lincoln, 16th President of the United States, about 150 years ago. Now, the net neutrality bill and the governance of the FCC over concepts like net neutrality and our internet, as we know it in America, will be another freedom that the American government will eventually absorb and take away from the general population, from its constituents. I'm an IT technician. I believe in the Constitution. I keep up with the government and current political landscape. I'm also a concerned citizen. Today, we will briefly cover just a few of the concerns with net neutrality and why it may not be a good thing for the government to have complete control over the internet. Our first concern is free enterprise. The concept of laissez-faire, which is French for the concept of government keeping its hands away from business, has been one of the cornerstones of the founding of the United States, but has been slowly deteriorated and absorbed by the government. As we see with the banking bailouts, the car industry bailouts, things like that, where the government has had more regulation put on things and more control exerted over different companies in the business sector. Nobel Prize economist Gary Becker, in his paper titled Net Neutrality and Consumer Welfare, alleges that claims by the net neutrality proponents do not provide a compelling rationale for regulation because there is significant and growing competition among broadband access providers. So basically, he's saying that they don't have a good argument and that free enterprise is taking care of itself as it has always done, with new innovations and competition amongst providers to provide a better service at a cheaper price. The government has a bad track record taking over things and stifling free enterprise such as healthcare, education, housing, and banking. Our second concern is the freedom of speech. And freedom of speech cannot exist without privacy. So our privacy, once again, is being threatened by the government and its regulations. Glenn Greenwald's book, No Place to Hide, reveals that the U.S. government tampers with internet routers during the manufacturing process to aid in its spying programs. Well, that sounds like a conspiracy theory, but Edward Snowden has released several documents, and there have been others that come out to speak against the government, stating that the NSA is watching us, compiling evidence. It is a well-known fact that metadata is collected from our internet searches. So once the internet is fully in control of regulation and oversight by the government, who's to say how far they won't take that big brother watching over our shoulder? And another concern would be security breaches, because with the healthcare.gov's website, when it first launched, had just a plethora of breaches and people's information was going out left and right. Which brings us to our third concern, which is freedom in general. Some people believe that the government is a benevolent protector and provider of all our needs, while others would say that the government is an oppressive tyrant and is influenced by power and money by big corporations. Whichever side you take, you can't deny that freedom, as it was believed and understood by the founders of this nation, is under threat and being taken away slowly, or at least being threatened. It was Joshua Stimley who wrote in the Forbes article recently that it wasn't all that long ago that FDR was locking up U.S. citizens of Japanese ancestry, and that Woodrow Wilson was outlawing political dissent, which is opposition to the government or political policy. Now, these are U.S. presidents, and not to, let's say, past 100 years. FCC Commissioner Ajit Pai stated that the FCC's current iteration of net neutrality, the bill proposed, in its 332 pages, would not be released to the public to view what the contents were until it passed, which is the same thing we got with the healthcare bill. A lot of people were disappointed with what they found out was later in the bill, but it had already passed, so there wasn't much we could do about it. So, what do we do about this? Well, as it stands for now, the internet and its regulation or lack thereof is fine. We see growing markets, we see new innovation, and we see sizable contribution to our economic growth through these markets with Cisco, AT&T, IBM, all these American companies. Our free market will continue to prevail as it has. There's no significant threat or concern that would cause us to need the government intervention now. Most people, and I stand behind them, believe that let the free market take care of itself. Let the companies and the private business sector take care of themselves as they always have. And let's just see how it plays out. This may not be an ideal solution, but it is a solution, and it's better than an alternative. But I'll let you guys decide. Thank you.
Our matter died. I'm just picking.